Here we are on my new sofa with a new guest, 2 new things. What a great start. This is Katie Snooks. Hello.
Hello.
This is Katie Snooks. She has an amazing YouTube channel about fashion and beauty and lifestyle. And if you don't feel like you're either going to be sick or cry at her lookbooks, there's something deeply wrong with you. So I've linked that below for you to go and discuss, to go and watch, not discuss. We're going to do some discussing. Katie and I spend a lot of time together, don't we?
We do.
Katie films some of my videos for this channel, so we spend a lot of time talking about a lot of stuff, and we thought it might be fun to make a video about some taboo topics that we might not normally discuss. I haven't on this channel, and you don't talk about that kind of stuff on your channel. If you're confused, you don't know what taboo means, it is a topic that is prohibited or restricted by social custom. So we are throwing social custom out of my brand new patio French doors, which are oh so beautiful, and we're going to get cracking. What are the topics we're going to discuss today?
We are going to be discussing sex, religion and politics.
We're going to be as open and honest as possible. This is quite nerve-wracking for us both, because whilst we're actually, I would say, very open about all these topics with each other, like we talk about sex a lot, don't we?
We talk,
we really do. And I think you're a naturally open person, and so am I. It's obviously quite hard to do that knowing this is going to a big audience, so let's do our best.
Okay.
Here we go.
Forgive us.
So I thought we would talk about sex first. Do you like sex?
I enjoy sex when I'm in the right mood.
That's interesting. So do you sometimes not feel in the right mood?
Sometimes I'm definitely not in the mood. If I'm tired, I'm not maybe in the mood. And after dinner, not maybe always in the mood.
Oh, no, because I don't ever want to have sex when I feel like maybe I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah, no, that's
not
good.
a nice feeling.
But
and if you're tired, you don't want to get all woken up and all like
shaking
jazzy,
around.
do you? Yeah, shaking around.
Do you enjoy sex?
I love sex. In all of the relationships I've ever had, I have loved sex.
I've been in a relationship for a while and sex isn't as
How
frequent.
long?
It's not that long, 3 years.
That's long.
Do you
That's
reckon?
long, yeah.
And it isn't as frequent now as it used to be.
Well, it gets like that, doesn't it? When you're at the start of a relationship, it's like all day, every day. And then once you've got really comfortable in it, then
Living together and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I've been in long-term relationships, it's been like maybe a couple of times a week, and I've been okay with that.
Yeah.
What were your early experiences with sex?
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so for me, the first concept of sex I ever had was a girl called Mandy in lower school told me that to make a baby, a man and a woman touch each other's bums.
Oh.
And I was like, that's disgusting. I am never going to touch a bum. And if I'm honest, I'm not really into bum fun. So maybe I was right. But that is not how you make a baby. I know this because I have a child. What about you? Or when did you lose your virginity?
I lost my virginity at 16 with a long-term boyfriend back then who, this might be version on religion talk as well, but he was a Mormon, so technically wasn't allowed to have sex until we were married. No, right? But I didn't have my first kiss till I was 15, so I think I was quite late kind of blooming into the whole sex thing. I went to an all-girls school.
Me too.
Yeah. No men at all around, so I wasn't really...
Not that late.
No.
I didn't properly lose my virginity till I was 19.
That's impressive.
Well, not for lack of trying, Katie. Not for lack of trying. Just no one wanted to. Nobody liked me enough. I had what I thought was losing my virginity at 18, but looking back, that sexual experience, it was just the one little thrust, and I was like, well, there we go. That's that done. And the next day, I remember walking. It was at my sixth form end of college party. And I remember walking around thinking, well, I wonder if people can tell that I'm a woman now.
That's brilliant.
But it wasn't until I went to university and I went on a night out, and there was this guy that I had known from, he was on my friend's course, and we ended up just having meaningless, zero care, fumbly sex. So not the beautiful experience that I had hoped for, to be honest.
The thing I love most about sex is probably the fact that it really brings you together it cements it, makes it feel,
emotionally as well as physically.
It's that connection between two people. That's what I Love. And I'll admit this now, I am one that has maybe a little bit too often cried after sex just because I feel so overwhelmed with love and emotion.
Yes!
Do you do that?
I have done, and I felt really awkward about it. I was like, why am I crying about
And they're
this?
like, oh
But
my god, have I hurt you? Are you alright? And I'm like, no, I'm just so in love. That's definitely happened a couple of times.
Yeah, it is an emotional thing because you're sharing such an intimate, vulnerable moment with someone that in that experience, while sex is not exclusive just to you two, but that sex is just for you two. You're the only two people in the whole world that were there for that moment and experienced it, and also it's like you have heightened physical feelings, don't you, because you're aroused and all that sort of stuff. So I'm fully with you on that. Like sex to me, it's the word aroused. Aroused. Yeah, sex for me is an emotional connection. I think so. I've experienced one night stands and I've experienced relationship sex. Relationship sex is just infinitely better because you've taken the time and the amount of sexual experiences to learn what each other likes, but also you like give a shit about each other, and you know, maybe that man from the bar in New York that time, they didn't give a shit about me, Katie. Maybe he didn't. Maybe that's why he didn't call me. And I don't even care, alright? I only stalked him online for a few weeks afterwards.
What's your least favourite? One night stands?
I
don't know if I've got a least favourite.
I think that's a whole nother video.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do another video about that. Should we move on to our next taboo topic?
Yes. Religion.
I would say that I am an exploring Christian. So, if I had to tick a form, you know, when you have to like write down, you have to tick forms, I would tick Christian. But currently I am really exploring it. I feel very drawn to Christianity. I spent a lot of time learning about it. I've done the Alpha course, I did a follow-up home group course, I talked to a lot of my friends about it, some Christians, some non-Christians. I've listened to a podcast or two, just the one actually. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, I've watched videos of sermons and services at churches, and I go to church, but still I would call myself exploring. What about you? That was a big intro.
Very interesting. I wasn't brought up religious at all. In fact, my mum's mum was Roman Catholic and my mum's dad was Jewish, so kind of no religion at all. But I have been spending an awful lot of time in churches recently, and I have really loved it. And I've been doing that because I am getting married and we're going to get married in a church. My fiance's family are very Christian, very religious, and so in order to get married in a church, you need to attend church for 6 months, and we've been doing that. So I've been spending an awful lot of time there, and I find
so you've sort of had to do it, but you've ended up enjoying it.
I love learning. I love the stories. I love the thought of trying to better myself as a person, and I really feel like religion and faith can do that.
I think they lend them. They're the structure for you. Oh, it's hard to explain. I know exactly what you mean. I feel like I make better choices having that structure in my life. Do you believe in God?
I believe that there's something out there. I don't know what it is. I love the thought of an afterlife. In fact, I definitely believe in an afterlife. I want something higher in order to feel like I've got a purpose. Yeah,
I understand that. So, I believe in God. And also I believe that Jesus is the Son of God, but it took me a long time to get there because for the longest time I thought, I believe in God, I believe in something, let's call it God. And now my belief in God is slightly different. I believe in him much more strongly and more clearly, I guess. But before I thought, okay, so maybe there was a man called Jesus and he just, had some good stuff to say and people really liked him. But through exploring the Alpha course, which, if you're unfamiliar, it's a 10-week course run one night a week by most churches. You can go online, just type in alpha.co.uk, alpha.org, something, Alpha. And there's this guy called Nicky Gumbel who is like the face of it, I guess. I haven't really fully researched this, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And he is a lawyer. and his mum's a lawyer, his dad's a lawyer, his brother's a lawyer, everyone in his family are a lawyer from what I remember. And he is very, very rational and logical, and he was sceptical. He believed nothing. He was like, no, that can't, how could that possibly be true? But through the way that he talks about it, it's made me think about it differently and maybe explore ideas I hadn't considered before. I've been told that to be a Christian, you need to completely accept and believe in God and also Jesus Christ, the Son of God, which I do. However, for me, and these are subject to change, there are big things in religion and in Christianity that I really struggle with personally.
What, like?
Well, like, for example, sex. It says that, the Bible says that sex is a gift from God to be saved between man and wife. I haven't saved it. I mean, I've had a husband, I've been a wife, but I'd had sex previous to that, and I'm continuing to have a sexual life now with you know, I'm not with my husband anymore. And so that's an interesting point for me, because part of me wants to think, well, it was written in the Bible in a time when contraception didn't exist, and it was probably just a helpful lifestyle guide so that women didn't get pregnant and then be left on their own without any sort of benefit system or support. But then also, it's the Bible, so am I allowed to interpret it however I want? I don't think that's how it works. That's how I'd like it to work. Like, these are things that I'm still exploring, which is why I say exploring Christian.
Do you read the Bible?
No, I don't. I like to have the Bible read to me in church and services. I've watched videos about bits of the Bible, and I have other books about the Bible. So I've got one called Hope, I've got one called Jesus Calling. They're both really good. They're ones where you can read a little bit each day.
That's helpful.
And I have a Bible, which my lovely friend in America gave me, but I've read a few bits of it, but no, I haven't sat down and read it.
No.
Darcy has a Bible, actually. It's a children's Bible, and I've read lots of that to her. So, and I find that much easier to read because it's for children. Shall we move on to the next one, which is politics? It's the hardest one.
This is like my least favourite subject in the world, politics.
Politics are really tricky. For a long time, I didn't know / didn't try to know anything. And then social media swept into my life, and people's social commentary swept into my life. And it was through watching videos like Lex's videos and John and Hank Green's videos and a few others, and seeing people tweet about it and share memes and Facebook statuses that I started to get really interested in it. Is that the same for you, or did you learn about it at school or anything like that?
No, I didn't have an interest in anything like that until I dated a guy who, this was in 2010, he was working for David Cameron at that time that Tories got in from Labour, and that was when I was like, right, I need to like pipe up here.
Need to know something. Say something.
And I completely disagreed with everything he said, and I think that was what made me realise that I do actually have a viewpoint in politics, because I didn't agree with what the guy I was dating said. And since
was that the end of the relationship with him?
No, he was terrible at sex. That was why it's the end of it. Shouldn't say that, should I? Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing. But yeah. So since then, I was like, right, like I've always voted. Ever since I could vote, I voted.
I voted the first time I could vote, and then I didn't vote for many years. Bearing in mind I'm like 31 now, so I voted when I was 18, and then I didn't, and then social media made me interested, and then I started voting again. I actually confessed to Ed Miliband himself that there's been times when I haven't voted. I did an interview with him last year. It didn't work. He didn't win the campaign, but you know, that really, really like pepped me up. I was like, that's so interesting. I'm so into it. And then I'm just involved in things now. I'm a United Nations ambassador for gender equality, and whilst that isn't like who's gonna, run the country, that has political connotations. I was involved in the Brexit thing. Google did this like huge debate, and I got picked to ask a question, which was cool. And I feel like, as people with large social followings, you do as well, do you feel like we should be talking more about it? Do you feel like you like it because you want to, or do you ever feel like you should?
I feel like I should. I feel like we as people with a following should use our voices to make positive impact. I think because we have the audience that politicians and news people can't reach.
Yeah.
We can talk directly to you guys, and I think
that's such an interesting point about they can't reach those people, and yet we are the people, like the millennials, I guess, who are growing into the country. Like all these things that are going through government now are going to affect. It's our future. A lot of the people that do vote are much older, so like the 50s and 60s and 70s. But those people are not the ones that are going to be affected by all the change that's happening. So it is really important. It's interesting once you get into it. It's just hard to get into it. I would really suggest YouTube is how I've learned so much. I tried to read like news articles and stuff, but it's like starting a box set halfway through because I don't understand how we got to that point. So by watching a few YouTube videos, then you get it's interesting to know about it. I'm really interested in everything going on in America at the moment. Quite frankly, I hope that you don't vote for Trump. He's crazy.
The world is falling apart. I saw a really cool quote actually outside a cafe the other day, and it said something along the lines of, I like to think that this is just the last season of America and they've run out of a plot line or something.
Oh yeah, when they just do like
because what the hell is happening?
Don't vote Trump.
Don't.
Good then. We just talked about like actual
adult
topics.
Stuff.
Yeah. Well done us. I would love to hear your opinions in the comments about how you feel about sex, how you feel about religion, and how you feel about politics. I would love for you to respect us and not say horrible things to us, and also to each other. I know sometimes you get into little like, oh, don't do that. I don't like it. It's not nice. Let's make more of these in the future. Give us some more topics that we should touch on, or if you'd like anything that we've touched on today expanded, perhaps we could make designated video maybe.
I'd love to talk about sex.
Me too.
I should say also that I've never met a person more open and that I can be more honest about than Louise.
I say the same to you. I don't think there's anything I wouldn't say to you.
It's good to have a friend like that you know you can not be judged by and talk honestly to. Yeah.
Ditto to you.
Oh, look at us.
That's nice. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. Bye.